Hey YouTube, what's up? It's JT Sasuke. I'm here to bring you my review for Legend of Korra Episode 9. So, jumping right into it, there's two parts to the story. There's Korra's half, and then there's Mako's half. I'm going to give you Korra's half first, then Mako's half. Korra's half, we basically start off with Korra. Korra goes to the Eastern Air Temple where Tenzin's family is at. Now she knows this because she originally planned to go with Tenzin because he was supposed to be her spiritual leader as well as her airbending teacher. But she decided to go with Unalaq for her spiritual help. Now she got there and explained everything, which Tenzin was like, "I knew it." And then she apologized. And by her apologizing, in my opinion, that shows that she has spiritual growth. Not spiritual growth, but like she matured. And I feel like that has a lot to do with her seeing her origins and meeting the first Avatar, which I think is great. Getting to see how the Avatar came to, and especially since most Avatars don't know that. But yeah. So she apologized to Tenzin, which is a big character development because at the beginning of the season she was just a nagging and annoying and rebellious and stupid. Now she's all sweet and humble, which is, I feel like how she should be as the Avatar. And I'm not saying that just because Aang was like that. I'm saying in my opinion, that's how Avatar should be. Yeah, you may be a girl, hormonal and stuff like that. I don't want to get into all that. But knowing people are trying to help. So she apologized to him, and he welcomed her back with open arms. And basically, he took up being her spiritual teacher again. Now they tried at several different places, a couple different ceremonies, and nothing worked. And we come to find out that Tenzin doesn't have a strong spiritual connection, but he's been training for so many years by himself and with Aang to become the spiritual leader, the spiritual leader and the spiritual guide that Korra needs. But he doesn't have that spiritual connection. But we find out that Jinora does, because after one of the failed attempts, Jinora is chasing after something. And it's about six rabbit spirits. Now Kaya notices this and asks her what she's chasing after, and Jinora says nothing. So after that, Kaya's just like, right, there's something going on here. So after another failed attempt, he was just Tenzin got very frustrated and just said, okay, let's try somewhere else. And Kaya stepped in and was like, well, I think Jinora might be able to help. Now Tenzin was like, Jinora can't help. She is too inexperienced and doesn't have enough training. And that's when Jinora was just like, I think I can be able to help, because I can see spirits. And then she told them to reveal themselves, which they did. And, they were all taken by surprise. Now these spirits led them down to an ancient meditation place in the Eastern Air Temple. And by the way, the Eastern Air Temple is the most spiritual temple of all the air temples. And they had to do a spiritual cleansing because it's been neglected for so many years. Now this spiritual cleansing drove away the light spirits and awakened dark spirits that came out of like a deep dark crevice from the earth. After Korra and Tenzin attempted to fight them off, Korra basically used waterbending to spirit bend them. And she did it successfully this time. Now my thing is, when it comes to spirit bending, is she able to do that with like other elements? I'm thinking air should probably be sufficient enough for spirit bending. But I'm not going to go into that because I'm not trying to make the video too long. But she spirit bent them back to the spirit world successfully, like I just said. And then they try to do it again. They try to enter the spirit world again, but they fail. And that's when Jinora is just like, okay, maybe I can do it, because Tenzin just now realizing that he doesn't have the strong spiritual connection that he needs. and he's most likely not going to be her spiritual guide. But Jinora can. Now Tenzin was against this, but Jinora reassured him that she'll be okay. And that's a lot of trust to put in a 10-year-old. Because Jinora is 10. No, she's 10, maybe might be 11 now. She's a little kid. But she needs to get to this, the Korra needs to get to the spirit world, and Jinora knows how. So, but Jinora is very mature for her, so I assume Jinora should be good. Not to mention, Jinora has Korra by her side, so everything should be perfect in my opinion. Korra is more than able to protect Jinora, with or without bending. Now, they sit down, meditate, and they enter the spirit world. Now, when they enter the spirit world, they enter into like this beautiful forest and everything. This was so amazing. Now I'm going to cut over, and we're basically going to talk about Unalaq. Unalaq went to the spirit world with Defna and Eska. Now, the three of them went into the spirit world from the southern portal. When you come into the spirit world from a portal, whether it be the north or south portals, you can, I repeat, you can reach your bending. That's awesome. Now, what he did was, he went through the southern portal, walked over to the northern portal and told them that we're going to break this portal. We're going to bust it open using water bending. Excuse me. Now, the water bended the portal and it rebounded on Desna, knocking him out and hurting him really badly. Now, this shows that Eska is probably, not as bad as we think, because any bad person would have sat there and been like, fuck my brother, I'm trying to open this portal and cause havoc. She was like, this portal is not important, my brother is injured, I'm taking him. Told Unalaq that after Unalaq clearly told her not to, and she took Defna and left. Now, it didn't work, and that's when he went to Vaatu. Now, Vaatu was still in prison. We come to find out that, yes, Unalaq is working for Vaatu, and told him, I'm sorry, I failed you. And he was just like, no, you haven't. Because the Avatar is still alive. He told him he was dead, and he was like, no, the Avatar is still alive. He was just like, well, I'll go find her. And Vaatu was like, no, because she'll come to you. Because she just entered the spirit world. And the reason why that is because, and the reason why he knows that, is because although his link with Rava, severed, he can still feel her. Now, moving on to Mako's side, Mako is basically just following the leads that he has. Now, Mako is sitting here, and him and Asami go to the studio where Bolin is shooting. They go on lunch. Now, Bolin is hanging up top because he is doing a stunt. They leave him there, he falls down when Asami comes in, and he gets up and talks to Asami. Mako comes in, he lets them know that he thinks Barrick is behind it. They basically tell him he's crazy, and Mako gets frustrated and leaves. Next time we see Mako, we're at his apartment. He's in a tank top and pajama pants, and he looks super stressed out. He gets a knock at the door. It's Asami. Now, Asami comes in and says, hey, what's up? You look real stressed out. And he's just like, I am. It's just work and everything. I'm really trying to crack the case and get it done. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, he's just like, okay, well, maybe we could take a break. Let's go out. He's just like, I can't. I got too much to do. And she was like, no, you can take a break. And we can go to the place where we had a first date. And he was just like, well, maybe we can. All of a sudden, Asami went up to him and put her arms around him, and Mako did the same, and they started kissing. Now, to go back to the scene from earlier, Mako and Asami kind of had a moment, which Bolin was like, really? You two are going on again? Korra just left a week ago. Just throwing that out there. Now, after they got done kissing, another knock at the door. All of a sudden, all you hear is, it's the police. Those two idiot cops that Mako hates and Chief Beifong are there. And Chief Beifong has just basically been a non-useful, annoying obstacle this entire season so far. And right now, she is conducting a search because they busted a triple threat that said that Mako hired them for a sting operation, and they're following up on a lead. Now they search his entire house and they didn't find anything until they go into a closet and they find explosives and stuff for future industries and arrest Mako. Now they tell Asami and put it in her mind that he was only using her to distract her. That he was only using her, and he took on that mission to distract her. So that way, him and the triple tech can steal all their stuff. Can steal all her stuff. Which is terrible, because it's just like, you shouldn't say stuff like that. But those guys are dicks. Now, Sami's sister, she's just like, she has this, I can't believe he would do this look. And she's really unsure of Mako now. Mako is just like, I'm never doing anything to hurt you. It's not I didn't do it. Varric is all Varric. Not to mention, Mako also apologized to Lin Beifong for running that sting operation behind her back. Now, that's the end of Mako's story. The episode actually ends with the whole Vatu and Unalak section. So but that is related to Korra's part of the story, so I told you that. Honestly, this episode was pretty good. It's not beating Beginnings. Beginnings was honestly the best episode of this season. But that's it. That's it. This is my on-time review because I make all my Legend Core reviews on Saturdays, usually. But this is my on-time review, so comment, rate, subscribe, and I will see you guys next week.